as Sean Fitzpatrick makes his way down the tunnel.
And what a moment it's going to be for those All Blacks coming down here for the first time in their lives and playing a test match on Ellis Park. Make no mistake, although the young newcomers in the South African side will be nervous, so will a lot of those All Black players, because this is, well, this is it. This is the big moment. And there at the end, the big lad himself, Tuigamala.
The All Blacks form up as they're about to step onto Ellis Park for the first time in 16 years. As Bill McLaren said, an emotional moment as the Springboks make their way down from their dressing room, and here they are. Well, all the peripheral people are now making their way off the field. The cameramen, the sponsors, representatives dressed and dancing. There he is, the general himself, the captain of South Africa today, number 10, Nasporter, and calm and collected as you could wish to see anyone.
Yes, the South Africans have dredged around in selecting this team for every ounce of experience they could find. I think they've done the right thing. They've foregone some pace for experience. And every player who's played a test match just about in the country playing today.
Now we're going to have both the national anthems of both of New Zealand and South Africa. At one stage it was planned there'd be no anthems, but there was a thought that perhaps if the crowd began spontaneously it would be such a mess, and in fact you can hear them starting in the background. But the All Blacks and the South African team, the Springboks, line up for the national anthems. Well, folks, this is one hell of a moment here at Ellis Park. I'm just looking in front of me at some hard-bitten press journalists. 16 years in the wilderness. Not a dry eye in the house, as Bill McLaren said before. Well, I could see some pretty hard-bitten guys that were struggling. Now, there will be 1 minute silence observed here at Ellis Park right now in memory of the violence in South Africa. Well, looks like the haka first. So the All Blacks are lining up. Perhaps they've considered they had the minute silence just before the anthems. I'm not sure at the moment. There's the haka. Well, the Springboks took absolutely no notice. They were in a huddle down at the other end of the ground. They took no notice of Zinzan Brook and John Timu leading the haka. As everyone clears the field at Ellis Park, absolute capacity crowd, 72,000 jammed in. Not the biggest crowd ever here, but what an atmosphere. As the General lines up the kickoff for the Test match, Sandy McNeil is the referee. That's the South African team. We're ready to go.
And a page in the history of rugby union football is about to be written here as Sandy McNeil, the 45-year-old chartered accountant from New South Wales, gets ready to start this 38th game between the Springboks and New Zealand. Nas Botha with the kick-off, and right away it's Johnny Breed who feeds it back to the scrum half du Preez. That high kick bouncing on the New Zealand 22. Botha feeds it out to the number 8 forward, Breed. Great chance here. Herber goes. Donny Herber, the veteran centre three-quarter, deep into the New Zealand 22. And what a start the Springboks have made. But not getting to the feet, falling onto the floor, and the first penalty of the match goes to the All Blacks.
Yes, I wonder if the atmosphere get into the All Blacks a little bit there. They just stood and watched. The ball travelled over the head of Olo Brown at the front. He didn't immediately get behind him. They seem to be standing and watching. Hopefully that little movement will allow them to settle down and settle into the game.
Paul Bartman, blindside flank forward, as Grant Fox with this comparatively new ball that the South Africans have been using and that flies miles. And they reckon that it's not as porous as some of the other balls, and why they should worry about rain in this country, I don't know, because we've had lovely weather for every match that we've covered, and today it's simply gorgeous. In fact, it's very hot down there, and it's bound to sap the stamina. They're the younger of the Brook brothers, Robin, standing at number 2 in the line-out. Goes to the tail, well knocked back there by Joseph. This is Grant Fox from Strawn. Good bit of positioning by Rensburg. Van Rensburg, the fullback. That's an awkward kick there for John Timu. Beautifully positioned he was too. He sliced his return kick. Back there is Nas Botha, and he's sent a huge kick going to bounce into touch in the corner. Well, it just missed it. Everybody sucked in their breath there, hoping that it would pop into touch at the corner flag. But in fact, it's Ant Strawn who's back there to touch down for the All Blacks and for the dropout. Nas Botha there, the key figure in this match, a man with the most remarkable point-scoring record of all the South African players. Grant Fox, however, restoring a bit of calm. Heldon Hayes waits, that's one of the 2 big lock forwards. Grant Fox with a very long kick, and it looked as if it was going to go straight out, but in point of fact it didn't. Ian Jones was the big fellow up to catch it. Here he is, the kid from Camel in North Auckland.
It's a clever kick, man. I'm sure they kicked it purposely long to take it away from the Springbok forwards and use the pace of Ian Jones to get to the ball.
That's Uli Schmidt, a favourite son here actually. There he is, the Springbok hooker, a very experienced player who was with the World 15 in New Zealand. Jamie Joseph did well to gather in that awkward ricochet ball. Notice Sandy McNeil telling the backs to stay onside. The pass from Armstrong goes to Walter Little. Little's kick slices off the side of his foot. Referee Sandy McNeil insisting that the forwards hold it. He's saying they have to wait until he tells them to engage. That's right on halfway. Good bit of channeling. Strawn, Fox again. That's pulled across. Meant for the big man. Oh, he's cheering up. Tuigamala was up there and in with the tackle. But the Springboks survive.
Yes, Tuigamala lined up that tackle and took him hard, but didn't time it quickly. I would have liked to see him go up in the air and try and claim the ball and recover it.
Certainly Van Rensburg, the relatively inexperienced New Zealand fullback, is doing well. That was number 14 Small, the right winger, who fed it away to Breed. But Van Rensburg was in position as well. Sean Fitzpatrick leading the All Blacks in an international for the 9th time. That's the pick up and drive by Uli Schmidt, the hooker. Nicely out along the line from Dupré to Botha. Botha, what a monstrous kick, that time with his left foot. Offside, a penalty or a scrimmage. And referee Sandy McNeil telling the Springboks that when a kick goes in behind them, they have to stand still until they're played off onside. That's one of the new laws. It prevents them putting pressure on the recipient of the high kick. Gives them a chance to run. Grant Fox thumping it away up there into that east stand, a huge bank of the east stand. And this is a man that the All Blacks depend on so greatly. Also with magnificent scoring record, 983 points in 73 internationals. Fitzpatrick with the throw, back there and along the line it goes. This is the number 8 forward, Zinzan Brook driving, midway between halfway and the Springboks 22. The All Blacks are trying to roll them all round, and there's real battle on the far side as Lud Muller tried to stop them. Now they've made it into a ruck, and it comes to Strawn, to Fox, to Walter Little. Missed out everybody to Kerwin. Kerwin did it well to control that ball with one hand. Herber in with the tackle. Muller as well. Now it comes back there to Dupré. Dupré, the kick on there, and good following up there by Hendricks.
All Blacks Kelly looking to move the ball from that second phase, which is something we haven't seen much of. It was the double miss pass to get to John Kerwin early to allow him to take his man on, but not straight enough in the midfield to take players out and give them space.
There will be a stoppage for the moment, because over on the right, the Peter Hendricks, the 22-year-old Transvaal left wing, got a bit of a bump there as he followed up the kick. And also the touch judge on this side, and that's Brian Kinsey, the Australian, who's done 4 international matches as a referee as well, and he's seen something. So Sandy McNeil will be adjudicating on a bit of foul play, and the penalty goes to the Springboks. So that's what Dutch judges are for, apart from their normal duties. Nas Botha, well, we saw him practicing that kind of thing for a long time yesterday. He really has his geography very well off here, Nas Botha. Remarkable at 34 years of age now, but still the linchpin of this South African effort. There it is, they played 6 minutes of the first half, no scoring, but plenty of action, and one gets the feeling this could be a real cracker of a match. Certainly all the ingredients are there, the tremendous atmosphere. I'm sure that none of those players down there, not even the really experienced ones, have ever felt anything quite like the singing of the national anthems here in this, the whole atmosphere of this massive stadium. Hold it up, says Sandy McNeil. So they're 10-12 metres outside the New Zealand 22. Ant Strawn hoists a high one. Van Rensburg was part blinded by the sun there. You would see him holding his hand up, and it could be quite a problem. But of course, for the folk away over on the east stand opposite us here is John Kerwin, prepared to take a quick throw in. Those folk are getting suntanned quite beautifully. Some of them seem to be about 200 feet up in the air away at the back of that stand. There's Richard Lowe. They're playing his 38th international match. Knocked back by McDonald. Through went Michael Jones. Ian McDonald is a very big flank forward, but it's a penalty for a bit of obstruction at the back of the line out. And Strawn on to Lowe. Lowe goes down to form the rack. Strawn once again on to Michael Jones, but it was kicked on there by Hendricks. The cut by Walter Little. Referee allowing Vantage to go on. In goes Donny Herbert. Springboks staying with the pace well. Now it's out from Schmidt, the hooker. And that's Van Rensburg, the fullback, who clears. And that was quite good calm and control in the crisis by the Springboks.
Untidy play from both teams in a way. Springboks cleared it well, but New Zealand had a good attacking opportunity. A poor pass, and Walter Little did well to tidy it up.
So the All Blacks have clipped their line out. Long throw to Jones, nicely out to Fox. Now they've got forwards here. There's the first one, Zinzanbroek driving in, just 10 metres outside the Springbok 22. Small, the right winger, dashes away, having come in to do his bit. And the boot-in goes to the South Africans, who incidentally have a weight advantage of about 6 pounds per man. 131.5 stones their pack is in aggregate. And a brief stoppage for an injury to one of the Michael Jones, who will remember how devastating he was. We can see here, got this drive going, and then it was just in this broken bit of play. There was Michael Jones going in, and you see he may have twisted awkwardly as he fell, as the drive went in on him. This will be of some concern to the New Zealanders, because Michael Jones has, well, we burst upon the scene, remember, in the World Cup in '87, has been long spell out with injury and then back again. But they're all back to normal. All Blacks trying to turn that scrummage, but a good pick-up by Breed. Out to Dupré, the scrum half. That was a lovely kick by him, beautifully controlled. He's a big fellow, Dupré, over 6 feet, almost 14 stone. And all the New Zealand support up there, realising that this is going to be some battle for them.
New Zealand doing well on the line out so far, calling the variations, cutting the line out, throwing it to the middle and using a loose forward to run. It's a long line out here. They want to drive it a bit and get it back to ground spots.
There's no score in the game so far. Sandy McNeil is very, very adamant about what he wants from his lineouts. There's a big gap there. Patrick, you see number 8, Zinzanbroek going high, it's untidy. Well, the penalty count has definitely gone New Zealand's way, as Fox again steps up outside his 22 to try and punch the ball downfield to get the advantage for the put-in. New Zealand will get the put-in from the penalty kick, which goes out. Didn't carve off a lot of ground, about 8 metres on the Springbok side of halfway. Ball retention, the All Blacks. If there's been one thing drilled in them on this tour, it's been ball retention. Sandy McNeil is warning the Springboks to stay onside. A tap to Robin Brooke from his brother, from Ian Jones coming in as well. On the 10-metre line. The All Blacks have control to the right side. Fox's little chip over the top. Ron Rensburg's perfectly positioned.
Ron Rensburg is reading it very well. He's standing very wide on some of those scrums when he expects the cricket cross field and coming into the box for the other ones. His positioning was very good at this stage.
So Theo van Rensburg in his international debut throws it in field to Naasborter. A tremendous thump again. The timing of this man's kicks is just so exquisite. Well, it might be an old cliche that both sides are taking a long time to settle, but that's exactly what's happening. Robin Brooke, Ian Jones behind him. It's right to the back. Michael Jones taps. Zinzanbroek on the peel. Broad, beautiful second phase ball. Bunce cutting it back against the grain. Fitzpatrick's waiting out there. Nearly to the 22 in Springbok territory. The drive continues. Beautiful lineup with the All Blacks. Little deciding to cut back. No way through there. Again, beautiful ball. Kerwin has it. Kerwin's kick for himself. Bliet was perfectly positioned. He was in the air. It's back to Theo van Rensburg again. And all the hard work for the last 30 seconds, nullified.
Well played by the All Black forwards, taking it forward, setting up good play, but the poor decisions by the backs. I thought it should have gone wide that second ruck. Walter Little should have just let it go and backed up.
Well, it's hard to know if there's been a territorial advantage for either side. They've been playing it mainly between the two 10-metre lines, occasionally foraying into either 22, but not often. Vol Bartman the Natal flanker, the big men in the middle. Not getting a lot of ball, but that's good for the Springboks. Oh, a terrible pass from Robert de Priya. 6s and 7s. Danny Hernber has it now to Nasporter. There's no doubt that the most experienced Springbok on the field, marshalling his troops as captain. Take a step back is the call at every line-out from Sandy McNeil. Take a step back. See number 6 flying high. That's for New Zealand, Jamie Joseph. Again, more ball for the All Blacks. Again, it's the high hoist. Tuigamala's up. Small's there. So is Uli Schmidt. James Small's kick. Timu takes it nicely in his 22. Returns the compliment. And again, we have this line out about a metre on the All Black side of halfway. Nice play, Timu.
Well, New Zealand winning good ball in the line out, using that one loose forward advantage they've got. Bartman's shorter than either of the 3 New Zealand forwards, but not making the best of these kicks, not making the tackle, not putting pressure on behind the Springboks.
15 minutes gone in the first half, and away goes Ant Strawn. Nasporter taps it to himself, coming back onside, and the penalty goes New Zealand's way, and the first real scoring opportunity for Grant Fox. One of the All Blacks hurt. Gary Sy rips onto the field, and in fact John Mayhew's on there as well, the doctor and the physio. Strawn it is who's lying there, and this was his good run. Down on his shoulder it looked like as he was challenged, and he stayed down.
Well, Nasporter, I think, penalised for playing the ball in an offside position. It seemed to me that the ruckle ball hadn't formed, so quite a tough decision there.
Well, Ant Strawn, as you can see, is favouring that right shoulder and the right arm. This could be a very interesting decision if Strawn is required to leave the field. He seems okay at the moment. Well, there's no doubt that New Zealand are cleaning up South Africa in the line-outs. It's 8-2 with only 15 and a bit minutes gone in the first half. Ant Strawn has signalled that he's okay. He looks pretty tender as he walks back. There he is. That's Gary Sy talking to him now. John Preston would come on. He's feeling it, isn't he? Last quarter was the man who was penalised, and this could cost him 3 points. Well, the crowd over in South Africa are now counting the steps of Grant Fox as he moves back, but the little fellow who's kicking like a genius right now takes very, very little notice of that. There's his stats. Look at them. 16 and a half minutes gone. Grant Fox. He's hit it well. It's over. 3 points. The All Blacks in the lead. A penalty to nothing. 17 minutes gone, first half.
Now the big news here is Ant Strawn is off the field and John Preston is preparing to come on.
Well, that's very, very disappointing for Ant Strawn. It was going to be a big day for him today. It lasted just 17 minutes as his right shoulder gave out on that crunching tackle. And John Preston is on the field. And immediately he goes to talk to Grant Fox.
Very big moment for John Preston, and they've been playing together throughout Australia, at least at training in some matches, so they'll have some combination. A big load on the half-back shoulder in a match like this.
Nasporter kicks out. It's dropping nicely. Up go the big boys. Number 1, that's Henrik Rogers from the Transvaal penalty. Well, this is the sort of kick that Nasporter just has for breakfast, really. The penalty against the All Blacks.
Difficult to see there, but I think the referee pointed to Jamie Joseph going in or onto the ground, not staying on his feet.
Nasporter attempting to level the scores. Well, have you ever seen Naasbotha hit a worse one? He clapped his hands, put his head down, and Botha has missed what for him was a relatively simple kick.
Nothing like a bit of pressure at this level.
Not at all, and the crowd were, I mean, they just couldn't believe it. Naasbotha does not use sand, and he does not use a tee, but he really muffed that one. Fox, just a little chip drop out this one. Very casual from Michael Jones to the oncoming All Black forwards. Preston's first touch. Fox kicks left. Small weights. To van Rensburg. Handily positioned in the 22 as Bunce gets to him at speed.
So reading these kicks well, the South Africans. I think we need to start looking for little chips over the top, something to break up the rhythm of putting the ball high and behind them, because they're dropping back very quickly.
Professor John Williams and Johan Steiger, one of the replacements. John Williams, former Springbok, coaching the side. Right on the halfway line. It's deep to the back, and again Jones palms two-handed. Little finds half a gap. Oh, terrible pass over the top of Kerwin's head. He just tried to float it across. There was pressure on both of them at that stage.
Well, a misunderstanding there. He thought that John Kerwin was going to stay wide, I think, and John Kerwin came on a closer angle. But beat Dani Herbert easily, Walter Lim. Just hesitated and went around him on the outside.
Willie Schmidt, number 2. It's father-son's combination in there. Both the hookers today have had fathers. BBJ Fitzpatrick played for the All Blacks, and Willie Schmidt's father played as a Springbok. So there's a bit of... waiting for what Sean McNeil is going to do then as he penalised the South Africans. A little bit of niggle now. Ian McDonald looking at, and Ian McDonald's being called out. Play the ball and not the man. That's what the ruling was, and Sean Fitzpatrick wasn't happy about it at all.
I think the main point there was the ball was there, was right available, and there was absolutely no need to play the man.
So in the space of about 5 minutes, Grant Fox has kicked a penalty, 3-0. Naasbotha replied. Let's have a look at this. Well, there was the boots going in there. And you could see the big number 7, which the Transvaal player for the Springboks, Ian McDonald, penalised. Naasbotha marshalling his troops. A very inexperienced Springbok side have held the All Blacks very well to this point. Now Grant Fox has placed the ball 15 metres in from touch right on the halfway line. Now the ball flies in this high air. We're 6,500 feet up. I suppose that's about halfway up Mount Cook, if you like to put it that way. But the ball does fly, and Grant Fox can kick them from here with ease. It's 3 points to 0. The All Blacks are ahead. 21 minutes gone in the first half. Grant Fox waits and lines it up. He's hit it well. It's dropping to the right-hand side of the upright. And Naas goes on a run. He's got the back line outside him. It's Herbert throws it forward. Bartman took the ball with McDonald coming on. But it was very clear that Herbert had thrown the ball forward.
Well done, Sean Fitzpatrick. There's no question there that if they'd gone through, it was a very dangerous move for New Zealand.
Just clipped Herbert as he went through. Good stuff. Well, there was never going to be any doubt that this front row, Olo Brown, Sean Fitzpatrick and Richard Lowe up against Lut Muller, Willie Schmidt and Heinrich Rogers, all have played Test rugby for South Africa before. There's always going to be a struggle in there, and you can see it going on now. At the back comes Zinzanbroek. Gets taken by his opposite. Short side, Tui Gamala. The first time it's Maul. Just about beats him. Fitzpatrick's in there again. Ball for the All Blacks. Tui Gamala runs straight past Naasbotha. They're 15 metres out, the All Blacks. Good ball, a line-up. Walter Little cuts back. Well, ball retention again. It comes back to Robert Ducrea, who carves off 15 metres.
Well, again, no return from a sustained period of possession. Tuigamala coming in outside the first 5 to run at Nars water. That's something they'll want to do. They would have liked to have got that last one wide, I'm sure, but the Springbok back seems very flat.
23 minutes gone in the first half. The All Blacks are a penalty to the good. It's 3 points to 0. 17 minutes gone. Fitzpatrick deep again, two-handed. It's awkward for Preston. From Michael Jones, Tuigamala. Caught by one leg. Preston's caught. Right on the halfway line. It's Tuigamala's pass. There's the little chip over the top. Oh, nicely positioned was Robert de Pree. To van Rensburg again.
It's definitely the right tactic, I think, to break it up by putting the ball in behind. But again, I'd like to see some of those come from one wider. Perhaps Walter Little, and makes the cover come further, and the backs must come up flat to commit themselves.
There's no doubt about it. The Springbok cover is reading those kicks, whether they're Grant Fox long ones or the little chip over the top. They're reading them well. I think all have been taken on the full so far, mostly by van Rensburg. At that time it was Robert de Pree who got himself in good. There's Heinrich Rogers. Big men behind him, Heldon Hasten Milan. Just outside the 22. Jamie Joseph flew high, didn't get an advantage to the All Blacks. Preston runs. Was knocked on by the South Africans in that line out. Sandy McNeil is having some trouble just lining these two front rows up. They must step back. Oh, look at the power and pressure. Remember 56? I'm sure Kevin Skinner at home is watching this in New Zealand. And the penalty goes against the Springboks. And interestingly enough, John Preston has gone down.
Didn't bring McGear. So I think this will be a terrible blow for New Zealand if John Preston is injured at all.
Well, yes, that would make a major readjustment of the back line. That could be a fatal blow for the All Blacks. Let's not talk about that at the moment, as Sandy McNeil marches the Springboks back.
So scrums really are a bit of a mess at the moment. The All Blacks wanting to sit back and set. The South Africans wanting to get close to the mark before they punch in.
Just outside the 22 in All Black territory. Again on this side. The real pressure goes in. The scrum collapses yet again. We've got Olo Brown on this side against Heinrich Rogers. And again, Mr. McNeil comes on this side this time. Look at the power and pressure in that front row. Short side, away goes Tuigamala. One straight at James Small. Diving in over the top of it. 7 on your feet, he said.
Now that's well read by the All Blacks, because one of the reasons the Springboks have been able to take the ball on the full is that their wings are standing very deep. So give it straight to the winger and you have a free run if you can beat that flanker.
And so it's Naas Botha pushing the Springboks up almost to the goal line, the New Zealand goal line. Timo with the return kick, but he sliced that one badly. There's a real chance to run out here as Van Rensburg feeds Small. Now that's the right winger playing, come out way over to the left and putting in a very good kick indeed. Well, there he is, James Small. He's only 23. Came up through the South African school side, and you can see how the whole crowd here are associating very closely and very parochial too, but it's still 3-0 to New Zealand. I feel, David, that it really should have been a bigger lead for New Zealand with the pressure they've had.
I agree, New Zealand winning all the line-out ball and applying some periods of sustained pressure, but in the end just not good enough to score the points. This All Black side needs to go that extra step, getting the ball, keeping the ball, applying pressure and scoring points. They've had a couple of opportunities to move second phase ball and haven't done it effectively. Well,
another New Zealand injury, and there'll be all kinds of concern down in the New Zealand bench is Sean Fitzpatrick there, who incidentally is playing today in direct opposition to Uli Schmidt. And by coincidence, both of their fathers played international rugby. Uli Schmidt's father, Louis, played for the Springboks against France in '58, the Lions in '62. And of course, Sean Fitzpatrick's father, Brian, toured in the United Kingdom and played in the internationals against Wales, Ireland and England in '53-54. And this time it's Lute Muller, the tight head prop for the Springboks, who's been attended to. Imagine him having to go in at the front row against Richard Lowe with that the bandage on. Still, it's on the New Zealand 22. Sean Fitzpatrick with the throw. And New Zealand really doing extraordinarily well at the line out. It's good clearance by Preston. Wal Bartman is being ticked off here, and Sandy McNeill has warned the forward and said, you either tidy it up or you go. Now that's a warning, that's a caution. There must have been some foul play at the back. Wal Bartman there is a great campaigner, and you can see Jonny Breet went up for that one, and there was Bartman going through. Now watch that, the kick was away and he gave a push in the back, and that was what Sandy McNeill was annoyed about. And so here he is giving Grant Fox this chance to increase the lead. Wal Bartman, who played of course for Natal against the All Blacks in the first match of the tour. There's Nas Botha actually having a chat there with the South African touch judge Frick Burger, who's an international referee as well.
Well, this is exactly the same spot that Grant missed from previously. Plenty of thin atmosphere. He just has to hit the ball sweetly. You want to just relax and kick through it like a nice golf shot.
And the crowd really trying in a way to put Grant Fox off, but he's so accomplished at this, and he's so cool and calm in the crisis, and his concentration is so good that really they are wasting their time. Test average of 14, which is the best of all. Grant Fox then. That looks a better kick. It may just have the legs, but it has come back off the upright, and so another chance has gone. It stays still at 3 points to 0 for New Zealand with 10 minutes of the first half still to go. Nas Botha will be desperately keen to make sure. He's gone right out almost to the 15 metres line on the far touch line to take this one, and that's why it's very high, going to land in midfield. Up there came Breet, first man there as Jamie Joseph went in to catch it. Referee shouts them to keep their hands off the ball on the floor. A lovely rolling, bouncing kick there. And the man himself, once again, how the crowd here simply adore this fellow. Nas Botha is 24th international. And so they're within 10-12 metres of the All Blacks line. Crowd there hushed at the thought of a possible South African score. Sean Fitzpatrick goes and checks, makes sure that the players all can hear the signal. That's one of the problems in a huge stadium like this, is making sure that the call is heard by everybody. Using the tail, Michael Jones took it very well indeed, tackled by Bartman. Every Sandy McNeill telling people to stay in or to get behind Grant Fox. And I must say that Preston and Fox have settled in very well indeed. Nas Botha takes a quick throw in to Dupree, out to Botha. Botha up the touchline, trying to put the grubber kick in, feeds it out to Dupree. Dupree, that's a bit too far, it's very high, but there's plenty of time for Timo. And Timo, neat little bit of dummying there and a good clearance. So John Timo there, I remember him coming across to play in Wales-Ireland tour by the All Blacks when John Kirwan got injured, and you can imagine what a test that was for him, taking over from such a great player. But Timo scored 3 tries in 4 matches and made quite a mark.
New Zealand utilising their one advantage, their one definite advantage in the line-out, and that's Wal Bartman, the shorter back row forward for South Africa, throwing wherever he is most of the time.
There's a great jump by Breet, but was he lifted? Well, there you are, the referee deciding that he was helped up. I have to say that I personally would legalise lifting, but then it's the International Board who decides those things. Save an awful lot of bother. Certainly Breed was well up above the ground there. Fox once again, a lovely kick up to the 22. You can see here, just watch, there was MacDonald in behind him who gave him a bit of a lift. Now he's not supposed to touch him until he's actually got the ball. And that's where he went wrong. The referee shouting to the fellas to get back the 10 metres. Robin Brooke goes charging on. Michael Jones driving in. They've only got about 15 metres to go. There's a chance here as it's fed out to Fox from Preston, meant for Twigamala. It's still a good touch.
Well, a good kick, but it looked like 3-on-2 to me, and quick hands and backing up. I would have given them more chance that way.
7 minutes to go to half-time. There we are, 3 points in it. The All Blacks within 15 metres. And Sandy McNeil squeaking and shouting away, telling everybody to leave the man alone and keep your spacing. Uli Schmidt. Nicely back. Preston to Fox. A chance here as it goes to Bunce. Bunce on to Little, who'd come on the loop. Little gets it second time. Good run by him. The pick up again by Preston. A great chance there as Bunce goes. They're only 7-8 metres out. Preston battles for it once again. Fox again to Kerwin. Kerwin. The knock forward there by Hendricks. And they've taken the quick one, and it's a try for Zinzanbroek. A marvellous bit of quick thinking by the New Zealand number 8 forward. What a superb effort by him. The New Zealand supporters are in ecstasy. And a lot of shouting and booing going on. And the touch judge, now this in fact is Brian Kinsey, the Australian, who I got mixed up early on with Frick Burger. And he's seen a bit of nasty work. And Nas Botha has been told by the referee, Sandy McNeil, that they've to cut out the dirty work. I'm sick of it, he says. And so clearly they're going to have to be careful, because with a caution like that, and what is virtually a public caution, it means that the next man who transgresses will have to go off, or should do according to law. But just watch this here. Grant Fox feeding out to Kerwin. Kerwin had Timo outside him. There was a knock forward by Hendricks. The referee blew for a penalty for what was offside, and Zinzanbroek in a twinkling took the tap and the dive. That was marvellous thinking by him, just the sort of thing he did at Hong Kong Sevens, I remember. 5 points it was. 8-0. Nas Botha with much to ponder as his opposite number, Grant Fox, lines up this conversion. Crowd fairly quiet. That was good, and it's a beauty. Clean through, and that really puts the All Blacks into the driving seat. 10 points to 0 they lead. They've only 5 minutes to go to half-time.
And I think that is beginning to reflect the dominance that the All Blacks have gained, particularly in the lineouts. And during that passage of play, continued to apply pressure. Took the ball into Ruxamore's, got it out, moved it intelligently.
Nas Botha restarts. Jamie Joseph goes up. Michael Jones managed to go down in it to knock forward as it did so. And Sandy McNeil shouting to them to stay on their feet. Now the Springboks badly need a score about here just to restore their confidence. Now this is an area, of course, where, well, it could be hard for them, because the All Blacks are so used to the pressure and the physical contact of international play. The Springboks aren't. And usually they sort of 7-8 minutes at the end of each half. But it's Nas Botha with the drop goal. It's high enough, but he's pushed it wide. And I have to tell you that the New Zealand supporters, I'm sure, drew in their breath there, because Botha has actually kicked 30 drop goals in matches here at Ellis Park. He has, of course, kicked 15 drop goals in test matches, and that is second in the world rankings, along with Les Scarborough. In fact, Hugo Porta has dropped 21. So he is a danger man in that respect as well. Fox with a long restart kick. Duprea was underneath it, but he didn't go for it. And in fact, he bumped into big Ian Jones. Ian Jones, who came over to Wales and Ireland as a 22-year-old and looked anything like an All Black lock forward in stature, but by golly, he plays like an All Black. There's no getting away from that. Duprea, Botha. Botha looking for touch at the corner. Oh, a very awkward one indeed. Dutch judge's flag is up. And Twigamala was the lad who was beaten by the bounce. Little bit of booing for taking the ball away. And a very important throw in here for Uli Schmidt. Robert Dupré, the big, tall scrum half of Natal. And here Uli Schmidt. Malun, the big fella, lifted high. He's 6'8", but he's being lifted again. Well, Sandy McNeil did say that he was going to be very strict about lifting, and that's the second penalty against the Springboks for doing it.
Well, I'll complain like mad, I'm sure, but welcome to the real world, South Africa. This is the way the game is refereed internationally. You must keep your hands off the player until he's touched the ball.
You might have a look again at that lifting at the line out. Just watch. It was meant for Malun, and well, he gets a lot of height there. The man in behind him definitely helped him. But the point that strikes me is that some of the ball that is caught is really quality ball, and that's one of the reasons why I would tend to legalise lifting. But of course, David Kirk is exactly right. It is illegal in the law as it stands, and the referee's quite right to deal with it. Good tap again by Jamie Joseph. Preston beaten by an awkward bounce. Now it's the Springboks. Good drive there as Dupré awaits once again. Bartman is the fellow who usually stands off and drives. Now it's Dupré to Botha. Indecision there. Muller was in the way. Botha out there. That's McDonald, this huge number 7 forward. Sometimes plays off the tail. Dupré once again. There's the drive again by Bartman. Smashing on once again. Bartman. Dupré, a great chance here. Out to Small, the right winger in midfield. Small, he's not sure where he's going. He's just getting over the 22. A real chance here as it goes to Herbert for the corner. Herbert there, can they force him over? Referee's whistle goes. He decides that they didn't get the ball down properly. And it looks as if it'll be a put into the All Blacks, but that really was the best South African move of the whole match so far, and the crowd loved it.
Yeah, showing tons of pace and individual ability, the South Africans there, as they just made room, small, lots of elusiveness, looking pretty disorganised.
It was a super move to about here. Now Small, the right winger, was away over on the left, and see how he kind of lost his way a bit and yet still made a very good effort. It was a lovely pass out to Donny Herbert, and Herbert, the 34-year-old, almost got there. It was fortunate for the New Zealanders that Twigamala was able to hold him up. Twigamala, a powerful fellow of almost 15 stones.
It was fine tackle by Twigamala, realising he had to go high to keep him off the ground, and the rest arrived pretty quickly.
So Robin Brook was the injured forward there. And here a moment of tension for the All Blacks as we virtually go into the interval. Well, young Preston will have to watch, because if you delay the put-in, you can be penalised, giving away a free kick. Yes, the All Blacks went for an 8-man there. Preston did well, beautifully back to Fox. Fox was virtually on his dead ball line, hasn't found touch. Small catches it, but the Dutch judge flag is in fact up. The quick throw in to Van Rensburg. Van Rensburg to Small. This is a very lively fellow indeed. That's 10.4 for the 100 metres. Another lovely ball for Dupré. Botha didn't want that one. The kick on there and up there. It was Herbert once again who led the charge. And those are anxious moments for the All Blacks. We've actually played a minute into injury time at the interval. You'll have to come back for the scrummage, and Zinzan Broek is hurt.
Looked to me like a knee in the back for Zinzan Broek there, but the South Africans are very dangerous from that. If Dupré could have found his man, and he hasn't settled at all, I don't think, as a half-back, then that could have been very dangerous. But Zinzan Broek, knee in the back, I think.
Well, he's done so well, Zinzan Broek, with that lovely try, his 17th international, but it's really a milestone for him today, because this is his 50th game in an All Blacks jersey. Something that he hoped to achieve, and right enough, there was a boot just hit on his back as he went past. I don't think it was a deliberate kick, but certainly it caught him. And of course the replacement would be Andy Earle, I think, although Aaron Penny has also played number 8 forward and would probably be the number 1 man. Happily Zinzan is all right. 2 brothers playing together. As you remember, did the Meats brothers way back in the 60s. There have been a lot of chamozzle in that front row. Of course, they're all old stagers. They know what they're on about. And you can see Olo Brownish definitely getting inwards and causing a lot of trouble there for Heinrich Rogers. And we'll maybe have a wee look at that again. But the referee's whistle goes for half-time, so they'll be on the other side. It's been a tough, hard half. There's been some very good rugby in it as well. 3 minutes of injury time played at the break. But we arrive here with New Zealand leading South Africa by 10 points to 0, having scored the 1 try. And, well, everybody looking forward to a tremendous second half. And we're all set to start the second half of this 38th game between South Africa and New Zealand. South Africa with 20 wins to New Zealand's 15 and 2 draws. But perhaps the more frightening statistic in a way for New Zealanders, even though they're leading at the moment by 10 points to 0, is that in South Africa, this is the 21st game, and the Springboks have won 14-5. In any event, Grant Fox gets the game going. Well, Bartman can't control it in the air, and the All Blacks have won a good ball. Out there to Twigamala. Now the switch there from Robin Brook. Grant Fox with the up and under. In comes Van Rensburg. On the 22, beautifully fed away there from Hendricks, and a long kick there by Robert Dupré. Timu takes it on the own 10 metres line. Timu looking for Twigamala. And there's the big man who goes again, who reckons that he doesn't run round people because he can't be bothered, so he runs straight through them. Looks like another very good ball for the All Blacks, although they could do with it a bit quicker. Michael Jones standing off took it that time from Preston. That's the Springbok 22. Preston once again. Twigamala is in. Fox has a real chance here as it fed out along the line to Kerwin, but the pass wasn't a good one. Walter Little was in on the line, but the ball was knocked forward, and it'll be a put into the Springbok scrimmage.
In my opinion, they waited far too long to move the ball wide there. They should have moved it wide early and set another rough wider out. They have the quicker back row, they need to move the Springboks around.
No doubt whatsoever about the tactics, though. The All Blacks using forward standing off to take in the second and the third phase situations before feeding it. But from then, of course, it's quick ball you really want, and quick in every sense, quick from the ruck or maul, quick also along the back line. Nas Botha from Dupré. That's a huge kick. You know, he looks such a slight figure, and you can just hear the reaction of the crowd. He is 13 stones, but his timing is so good that he sent it miles up into the stratosphere. An extraordinary kick, that one, because, well, you can see how close it's taken the Springboks. This is the first Springboks All Blacks game since September 81 in Auckland. You remember the flower bomb test that New Zealand won 25-22. And here they are again. There's the big beanpole Ian Jones with Robin Brook just in front of him. Richard Lowe at the front. Very important throw in this for Sean Fitzpatrick, and this is 49th international match. Jamie Joseph has been very, very effective, at least in getting hands to ball. Some of the deflections haven't been quite perfect, but he certainly managed to win ball for the All Blacks, and it was his hand that did it again. And in fact, Jamie Joseph was the fellow who drove and fed the ball back, and well, that was pretty good work by him. Father Jim, of course, played for the New Zealand Boweries in the 60s.
I don't like to labour the point, but again, the All Blacks very intelligently throwing to where Bartman is. Wherever he goes, they throw the ball because he's short and he doesn't jump.
3 minutes of the second half gone. Still 10-0 to New Zealand, who've never won a test series here in South Africa. And again, the All Blacks had it, but they lost it. The ricochet wasn't controlled well enough. But you can see Jamie Joseph, the number 6, who's 6'5", almost 17 stones, and a very useful fellow at that number 6, number 7 position. Dupré awaits. Botha along the line to Muller. Muller had Van Rensburg in the line. Muller has it once again. Now it's Bartman driving into the 22. Bartman, this big, powerful Natal player. A real chance here as Muller goes. Muller has Herbert outside him, and the pass was a bad one. There was a real try on there for Donny Herbert. But the youngster there, Peter Muller, who played for Natal against the All Blacks, and once scored 3 tries against Namibia, you can see that the spectators were annoyed. He made a lovely run, the big laddie, and it was just that pass which didn't go to hand. Again, Preston finding Fox beautifully, and Grant Fox, who gives himself plenty of room, virtually on the dead ball line, and clears well.
All Blacks just need to settle a bit there. Not a very convincing scrum. They need to get really tight in those scrums and punch in and make those first-time tackles.
Springboks have cut to 3. The 6'8" man, but guess who's got it? Penalty for a bit of obstruction there, and a real chance here for Nas Botha. Jamie Joseph again was the fellow who actually cornered the ball for the All Blacks at that line out. So just let me tell you a bit about Nas Botha scoring 268 points in his 23 internationals up until this one. He scored something like 3,500 points in all games. It's an extraordinary record. And there he is. You notice his shoulder pads in there. There is a law about that, but it'll be just to ease the pressure on his shoulder. Has he pulled it? It's come in off the upright, and it counts. Nas Botha, it looked as if he was going to miss it, but it hit the upright and came back inside, and so it's 10 points to 3, and they played 5 minutes of the first half. Nas Botha, whose wife Karen was in the South African Olympic team at Barcelona. So that makes everybody think very seriously about the outcome of this match. 10 points to 3 then. Grant Fox. Pretty far forward. He certainly lets his forwards get up momentum. McDonald went up there first of all. And the Springboks are trying to maul it away. Now it's nicely back to Dupré, to Botha. Botha again with a huge kick. That is another monster. Eight times Nas Botha has been among the 5 players of the year in South Africa. And it's that kind of thing that has given him this respect and admiration of this huge crowd. Richard Lowe at the first. When the Lord made Richard Lowe, he was thinking of propping, I'm pretty sure. And there the big fellas in behind him. Zinzanbroek. Good drive again by Michael Jones. He's cleaned up a lot of rubbish at the tail of the line out. Now it's Grant Fox. The charge down by Bartman. Fox did well to fall. Muller is up there. Timo half caught by him. A brilliant bit of work by Timo. That was superb by him. He's so strong on his feet. He beat at least 3 tackles there. He might well have been put away by the young Muller. Offside against Robert Dupré. And Dupré is a fiery lad. He's got a short fuse, the big scrum half. You have to be careful because he made a comment there.
Got a short fuse and a small brain. Absolutely stupid to give away pressure under that, give away the ground when you've got pressure on like that. New Zealand must just relax again, not worry about Nas Botha's long kicks. You can't do anything about them. If he gets away a good kick, that's his good fortune. New Zealand must just drive it back again, win the line out.
You can watch it here. This was Preston now. You can see the ball was still in the scrummage, and Robert Dupré, well, he may have been behind the ball. It may have been harsh, and that's why he spoke out. And anyway, it's the All Blacks on the rampage with Zinzanbroek leading the way. Nicely fed back again along the line to Walter Little. That's a searing kick there, a very searching one indeed. Across comes Van Rensburg, and he really had to hurry there. One of the things about Theo van Rensburg, the fullback, however, is that he too is very fast indeed, and he really does cover the pitch well. So that was a searching little punt by Walter Little, and it's taken the All Blacks up as close as that. All Blacks have cut to 5. Ian Jones second from the tail. Michael Jones ready to wipe up anything going at the back there. Taken nicely by Brook, but it may not have been straight. And the Springboks get the scrummage. South African rugby, of course, over the 100-odd years at international level anyway, has been based on the scrummage. You see Richard Lowe there has been forced out of the scrummage, but it's gone round 90 degrees. They'll have to do it again. This is Lud Muller, the 33-year-old police officer on this side of the front row for the Springboks. This is Dupree, almost charged down by Fox. Up comes Small. Lovely catch by Twigamala. He does take a bit of knocking down the big fella, and he's laid it back very nicely. This should be a good ball if Fox can shift it quickly. This is Bunce. Bunce is through. Bunce, a lovely bit of play. Can he link up with his winger? In there for Kirwan. Kirwan with the try. Marvellous try by Kirwan, made there by Frank Bunce. His 34th try in internationals for New Zealand. His 65th altogether. And John Kirwan is within one try of the New Zealand record in all matches, held by Brian Williams. 66 it was. And yet the Springboks had one good ball. Dupree had cleared it. But watch what happened here. Twigamala was the man who took it on first of all. A little bit of movement there too. And then he laid it back beautifully. And from this moment, with the ball fed by Preston, the chance was on. Watch Bunce. The sidestep to the left, the veer outside, the kid on, and then Kirwan angling his run quite beautifully. A lovely try, converted by Grant Fox, and the All Blacks are stretching away, 17 points to 3.
Outstanding run by Frank Bunce, in and out, and just held the ball up, short pass, like a rugby league pass. JK changing direction. A great try for New Zealand.
So 2 tries to none for the All Blacks, and that really was one of the tries of the tour. Made, of course, by Bunce's wonderful running, but it was the angling of Kirwan's run, so beautifully done. And there we are, 10 minutes into the second half. 17 points to 3 in it. And that's Heinrich Rogers, who had to cut short his honeymoon, believe it or not, to come here and train and play. And of course his wife Nita will be up in the stands worried about her old man there as he goes off the pitch, injured for the moment. Olo Brown takes it on for the All Blacks. Preston feeds up to Fitzpatrick, who stands off so well and never fails to get across the game line. The All Blacks are beginning to churn and to put bits and pieces together now. This looks like another lovely ball for them. Grant Fox feeds it out to Kirwan, and who's there but the captain himself, inside to Jones. Jones Michael, that is, not Jones Ian. And so I think the All Blacks have got the feeling now that they've got this game in the grip of their hands, and Johan Steger has come on as a replacement for Heinrich Rogers.
Yes, what I think the All Blacks have realised is that they can run at the Springboks, they can run hard at them in the forwards and get numbers there to win the second phase ball. So every man that gets the ball in his hands now is running hard, taking on, physically confronting the Springboks, and then getting men there and winning the ball.
Well, we have a bit of an injury problem at the moment. Michael Jones is down again. Rogers is off with a hamstring injury. Steger's on. John Preston was injured a short time ago. So they're attending at the moment. What a try, wasn't it? What a try to JK. At his brilliant best. Slicing through on the angle, straightening it up right under the bar. Great stuff. So it's a bit unusual for us watching in New Zealand. They play rock music when there's an injury here at Ellis Park. That's something new. Right, we're ready for a start again. 12 minutes gone in the second half. The All Blacks are ahead by 17 points to 3. Back to Nasporta, off his left foot this time. Slices it a bit, but makes a good touch. Well, Michael Jones is fine. That's him just returning to the end of the line out. Come on, fellas, says the referee. Michael Jones up against Ian McDonald. There's a bit of a height difference there. McDonald's around 6'4.5". Robin Brooke with Ian Jones behind him high. Bartman, number 6, offside. If you come round, you must go back. He didn't. Bartman, he's pointing at.
Same thing again, throw the ball where Bartman is. Bartman didn't jump, just came through looking to spoil. You can do that, but you must not interfere with the play. You must then go back around and come in behind. All Blacks just need to continue to tighten the screws, play very accurate, very organised rugby.
That's Walt Bartman with Steger, the replacement. Beautiful ball from Zinzanburg. There's Bartman, number 6. Look where he was. This has given Grant Fox an opportunity to goal again. He's converted both of the tries, Zinzanburg's try and John Cohen's try, and kicked a penalty. And Naasbotha really now has cause for concern. It's Theo van Rensburg with him. Naas doesn't say much on the field, although he's having a chat to Theo van Rensburg at the moment.
To some extent, the tale of this game has been keeping the ball away from Naasbotha. He's kicked very effectively when he's got it, but the All Black forwards have dominated the line out. They've taken the ball up aggressively and kept it.
And before these 15 All Blacks ran onto Ellis Park, they knew that the Crown Prince of Rugby in South Africa was the danger man. 3 out of 5 for Grant Fox. He's just outside the 10-metre line, about 15 metres in from touch. Very, very kickable, this one. Grant Fox. This will make it 20 points to 3. It's 17-3 right now. He's hit it pretty well. They're watching. Yes! $20 points to 3. New Zealand lead. There's 15 minutes gone in the second half. And this is starting to look a very, very healthy scoreline. Naasbotha, again the precision drop out, a tap, nasty ball for Grant Fox. Walter Little slides through the gap, Walter Little. Naas, a half-hearted attempt, he's still going over the halfway line. Not releasing the ball in the tackle. All that good work. Yes! And Naas, 5 metres on his side of halfway, is going to have a crack. And there's no doubt that this player can kick them that far. He kicks them from Northern Transvaal from this distance. And this time he's using a tee. You'll notice that Naas is so relaxed in his kicking, he just drops the ball onto the ground and gives it a whack. Well, the last one was in off. He doesn't take much time, does Naas. This is a gigantic distance. Oh, hit it, it's on the way up. Oh, poster again. Jones waits on it. They can be very dangerous coming off the post, and so it proved this time. Robin Brook holds, waiting for Preston to get into position. Sandy McNeil warning Small that he's offside. Fox. As McDonald flew at him. Quick throw in. Jannie Breert. Back on the left-hand side, Theo van Rensburg. They've got numbers, the Springboks. But so too do the All Blacks. It's not out. Along the black line, Naasbotha, Hendricks. There's 3 on none. Herber for the corner. Well, this was great pressure from the Springboks. It was a quick throw in. Jannie Breert took it up to Theo van Rensburg. It looks like the All Blacks had them bundled out into touch, but they didn't go out. And when it came along the back line, there was 3 on none at one stage, right along. That's Hendricks, out to Herber. Herber had a man outside him, Small, didn't need him. Brilliant try, Danny Herber, in his 20th Test match.
This all began here when the All Blacks didn't get to the line out. They needed more than one player there. Good quick throw in from the Springboks. That was really the only mistake they made because the Springboks then took their try very well. Plenty of numbers there, very well organised, well positioned back line. Walter Little went up a little, Frank Bunce went up a little quickly perhaps to make a spot tackle where the end took no one. And Danny Herbert did the right thing. Certainly, Timu had to run off looking for that final pass.
Nasport has converted. It's 20 points to 10 as the game goes on. The Springboks rejuvenated after that super try by Danny Herbert. Sandy McNeil has been very explicit in his comments to both captains today, and he'd simply told Sean Fitzpatrick at that point to shut up and get off it. There's a lot of chat in that front row, I can assure you. Zinzan off the back to Igamala, runs into a wall. All Blacks control. Again, Fitzpatrick, short on the open side. Second phase, Jones is through. Robin Brook. Can New Zealand secure ball from this? They can. There's 5 outside him. Now they get it. Now they get it. Kerwin. Timu. Yes. Well, New Zealand provided all the pressure at this point. Up to the 22 they went, man after man, short, Fitzpatrick over the 22. Then following Zinzan, Brook was in there. Michael Jones ran on and on. This seemed like an opportunity as Robin Brook took it on to spin it wide. They're only 15 metres out. Preston, again they played it short with Tui Gamala. Then when it finally went out, it scooped through Frank Bunce's hands. Kerwin found a bit of space. Timu found the rest and in the corner. That's the heartbreaker for the Springboks. They scored 2 minutes before that, and then the All Blacks came back straight away. Grant Fox has got a toughie this time. It's only 6 inches in from touch and about a half a metre outside the 22. 4 out of 6 for Grant Fox today, staring straight into the sun. It's a beauty! It's a beauty! 27 points to 10. The All Blacks now go into the lead convincingly by 17 points, and there's 20 minutes gone in the second half.
Well, if you watch carefully, they run at Nas Border every time. Nas Border, this may be the last one. Again, a short one to Sean Fitzpatrick, goes through Nas. They've realised there's a weakness there. Again, off to Michael Jones, through Nas Border again. Robin Brook taking it on aggressively. Short again, perhaps once too often. I think Walford looked to miss someone out, but it came off Frank's hands, and John Kerwin, a very intelligent, sympathetic pass. John Timu in.
Well, Danny Herber, who was 2 minutes earlier than that, was a hero, was the man that missed Timu in the corner. They're on the 22, and they're having a heck of a deal in the scrum. Dupria waits, delays to Nasporta, skip out pass, Van Rensburg through, out to James Small, drops the ball. Oh dear, James Small, he had no one to beat. A super move with Van Rensburg making the extra man. James Small had it in his hands, watch this, juggled it with the line wide open. Good kick from Fox under pressure. It's not out. Nasporta with a drop. Oh, he hits it beautifully. Just to the left of the upright. Well, the young fella, he kicked 5 drop goals against Natal for Northern Transvaal in Currie Cup earlier this year, and that missed by a foot.
Interestingly, the defensive pattern was okay at that last scrum, but Nasporta ran so wide so quickly, the defence couldn't get there.
Grant Fox's long kick out. Well, I'll tell you what, this has been a running game in the second half. No safety first. They've tried everything. Van Rensburg's kick in the air. Preston waits. Zinzan 2 hands. Tui Gamala waiting, misses him. Fox is outside his 22. He can see that no one's back, puts it right down the middle. It's bouncing. Nas has plenty of time. It's going to roll over the goal line. No, it doesn't. Vance is just back in. Watch this. No, for once the master screws it off the side of his foot. Preston. Michael Jones. Looked like the Springboks were slightly offside. Timu again. Timu. Preston's kick, it's in the box. It's over the goal line. They'll have to be good here. Well, what a super test match this is turning out to be. It's almost like a Barbarians game in a way.
Well, that's right, giving up some control to keep the pace of the game up, and I think that's a good ploy by the All Blacks. Both sides will be fit, but playing at pace is something the All Blacks have done a lot more than the Springboks have.
We're 24 minutes into the second half as Nas Border prepares to drop out from the 22. It's 27 points to 10. Seesawing from one end to the other. Beautiful drop out again, right on the spot. Robin Brooke calls for it, palms it. Fox takes it, angles it across behind James Small with Tuigamalo at pace. Beautiful kick from Grant Fox that time, on the angle. Bounced it into touch. A very long throw in to Yanni Breert. Danny Herber kicks. Well, it's almost a carnival atmosphere in a test match that we thought would be very tight in a kicking duel between the two first fives. It's anything but that here at Ellis Park. This is great stuff in test match rugby. Again, the shortened Liger. Steiger goes back. Shortened line out. Steiger goes back. Good ball at the front of the line out from Milan. Heldon Haysom there with him. Bouncing awkwardly. Kicked through by Adri Heltenhuis. Knock on the All Blacks.
Yes, the All Blacks need to just settle it down again now. The pace has gone up to a frenetic level, and the Springboks clearly need to break up any pattern to try and score some points quickly. The All Blacks need some good scrums and lineouts.
They've got 15 minutes to go to the end of the match. 27 points to 10, the All Blacks leaders. Botha feeds out to Muller. Muller, the youngster, is gone. The 22-year-old over halfway. He's got his fullback outside him. Van Rensburg was with him. Magnificent tackle by Timo. And back the All Blacks funnel in desperation there. And that shows you just how desperately dangerous those South African backs are. There's the young fella Peter Muller of Natal. His first international, he scored 3 tries against Namibia. If he'd been able to link up there, that could have been another cracking try.
Beautiful break from Muller, but Walter Little just caught too far inside and Muller just drifted round his outside. A loss of concentration, I think, from Walter here. In fact, I did Walter a disservice there because they missed a man very nicely, kept too close together, pushed the ball across in front of Herber, and Muller had the outside line. Well done, South African backs.
What a crunching tackle it was by Timo. That one saved a try. Muller wasn't quite aware of where the support was because Van Rensburg is so quick outside him. You can see there, though, how the New Zealanders have dominated the line-outs and also the broken play ball. They produced some lovely ball from second and third and fourth phases through forward, standing off and driving. That's where they've got this tremendous lead of 27 points to 10. 14 minutes of the match to go. Still attention being given to John Timo, the 23-year-old. Happily restored. The referee tells him to hold it till the first aid attendants get off the field. Dr. John Mayhew, who's looked after this New Zealand side along with Gary Sy, the Hawke's Bay physiotherapist. And Grant Fox, who he never seems to get overexcited. He always takes it so calmly and always the genuine sportsman. And with those searching, taunting, teasing kicks of his, he finds space better, I think, than any other standoff in the game at the moment. Uli Schmidt. Jump there by Milan, along the line there to Botha. Now it's to Muller once again. In came Van Rensburg. He did well to pick it up. Up goes Small. Is Small going to compensate for the mistake earlier on that missed a try? Beautiful control there by the All Blacks, so feeding it out as Timo goes. And one of the features of the All Blacks, it seems to me, David, is that in panic situations they don't panic.
They do, absolutely. They keep their cool and look for men in space to give the ball to clear the kick there. But I wonder just where John Timu was. They seemed to be very deep. A little chip came in, the ball was able to bounce along in front of him and they were to get through on it. But off the ball, it's Frank Bunce injured.
This is just a touch of cramp, I think, for James Small, the Transvaal wing. The Springbok selectors, Frank Bunce there, however, has got a knock. And that'll be a worry. He really has brought stability to the New Zealand midfield. Being compared to Joe Stanley, you can't get better praise than that. Watch here how, although Zinzanbroek lost control of the ball, he still kept it, he still gave it to Fox, and Fox still fed it out in intense pressure. That's so much part and parcel of the modern game nowadays, keeping your head when things are going against you. Johnny Breed picks up and gets absolutely flattened by Zinzanbroek. That movement rendered stillborn there. No chance at all for Breed, the big fellow, to make ground.
A great tackle from Zinzanbroek, but just shows the problem of a number 8 having to pick the ball up and a scrum going backwards. The body's too high.
He is the complete footballer, Zinzanbroek. You can see that when he plays 7s at Hong Kong. Look, that's him clearing away up to the 22. Van Rensburg is back there. He's sliced it. All the fellas in front of him will have to stand still. This is Timu. And Timu searching there for one at the corner. It looks a very good one, and it is. So John Timu, who re-established himself against the junior Springboks a week ago. Here's the Springboks bursting out from nowhere, prepared to take every opportunity to catch the All Blacks by surprise. That was John Preston in there, the scrum half, who 2 previous caps were actually as a stand-up half. Now the Dutch judge this time, and I'll get it right this time, is Frick Burger, the South African, who's in charge of 5 major international matches. And he saw a bit of rough play under Law 26, Section 3. Oh yeah, clattering in there over the top, and that looked a bit dangerous to me, and the upshot is a penalty to New Zealand.
Just at moments of real pressure, I think the Springboks show some of their inexperience at this level. Theo van Rensburg missing touch, allowing John Timu to put in the long kick, and then again they had pressure on, they were going forward, and a silly error, just a hot-tempered error to stamp on someone.
Grant Fox then, who captained the New Zealand schools and who, believe it or not, needs only 5 points to top the 1,000 in all All Black games that he's played. It is a quite astonishing statistic. This penalty goal would cut it to 2. 27 points to 10, the All Blacks lead. 10 minutes of the match to go. Nas Botha surveys the situation with some dismay. 5 successful kicks out at 7 for Grant Fox. A couple of deep breaths. Little keek, as they say in Scotland. Another wee keek. And then whoomph. No, just wide that time. And no sound from the big crowd, and it stays at 27 points to 10. So let's sit back and hope for a really pulsating last 9 minutes. That's the situation. The New Zealanders looking for what would only be a 6th win in South Africa in 21 games. Walter Little on halfway. Van Rensburg, who's positioned extremely well throughout this match, that time just couldn't quite get to the bounce of it. And touches down. That's Theo van Rensburg, who scored 4 tries from fullback against Namibia when the junior Springboks won 79-3, and we've seen a bit of that pace today. Botha once again, long and high. Up there went McDonald first of all, gathered in there by Olo Brown, but it had gone forward. And this is a demanding spell now for the South Africans. They haven't been used to the pace and the physical dimensions of international rugby. This last 10 minutes will be hard for them, but it comes out to Botha, out to Muller. Muller with the high one up to Timu. That's a bad kick. Timu has all the time in the world to pick his spot. He was outside his 22, but it's taken by Van Rensburg. Out to Botha. Is Botha going to run? Here he is over his own 22. He's got a bit of help there. That was a high tackle by Frank Bunce, and Botha is very annoyed. It was a bit high, and Frank Bunce is quietly taken away by his captain. Botha himself Again, a long spiralling punt right up towards the 22. You can watch it here. Well, I must say it wasn't above the line of the shoulders. That was along the chest, and Sandy McNeil may have been a little bit unfair to Bunce on that occasion. The law talks about above the line of the shoulders as being dangerous. Schmidt with a throw. Great jump by Breed, taken on by Steger. This is Bartman. Bartman getting help from Heldenhuis. Now it's fed back from Dupre to Botha, along to Herber. Herber with a little chip kick, meant for Small. Small is up there, but so is Timo. What a lovely catch by him. And Zinzanbroek clears. That man of all seasons, a man of all trades, a man of all the skills, Zinzanbroek, but a penalty for an infringement on the floor. And they've decided to go for the tap penalty. And it's Robert Dupre who's going to take it. Dupre feeds on to Bartman. Bartman, the bullet from Natal. Big fellow who lives in Johannesburg, feeds it out there, and a great chance here for Muller. Small is in, but the touch judge's flag is up. The Australian touch judge this time, Brian Kinsey, has his flag up. And James Small, who was robbed of a try earlier on by a mishandling by him, just watch it again. This fella Muller has certainly written his name over this game, and Small, his foot over the line, he was in touch.
Well, we're getting just what we'd expect from the South Africans. 27-10 down, 6 minutes to play, and they're not giving 1 inch. Desperate to score.
There's Adolf Malan, who's 6 feet 8 inches, a perambulating lighthouse if ever I saw one. And watch him go up here, but beaten to it by Robin Brook. Very good placement by the big New Zealand block forward there. Preston waits, and off that good left foot. Great to see players who can put it away equally well with either foot, as Preston had to do there. And I must say that big Malan hasn't had much change out of the all black jumpers at the line out. He's 6 feet 8 inches. You can see him there bending down. That's Lut Muller, the tight head prop. But Malan has really been starved of good ball. However, it was fed from Heldenhuis there onto Bartman. This could be a very good ball for Dupre. Did he muddle it? Out there, and it's a great chance for Muller. Muller has scored. The youngster Peter Muller has scored. Brilliantly taken. And if anybody deserved a try, it's that 22-year-old. He has had such a good match. And the crowd, of course, are absolutely thrilled. A clap there from Donny Herber. The youngster will be thrilled about that. You can see Breed got up. It was taken on by Heldenhuis, and Bartman made the drive as he always does. Dupre fumbled it first of all, and Breed was the man who gave the pass, and the stretch by the youngster Muller with the try. His first try in his first international. Nas Botha, that's pinpoint accuracy. The game is still alive. They've 4 minutes to go. It's 27 points to 17 for the New Zealanders. And we could be in for a very interesting last 4 minutes.
The Springboks particularly put Bartman wide here. They had a double move to have 2 men running around the back and give Bartman some space. There was a clear knock on from Dupre there, but a missed tackle here as well by Sean. It's going a bit flat on him and not getting the angle, but nevertheless, it's a big match left yet.
We've got it going live again as McDonald goes up once again, gathered in by Muller. That's Lut Muller, the prop forward. Now it's Dupre, and they're going to run it again, I think, out to Herber. That was a bad pass by him. The fullback hadn't a chance at all. Hendricks was the man who cleared it, but Donny Herber rather hurried that pass, and it was an awkward one, and it's given the All Blacks a lovely situation deep inside the Springbok 22. And usually when they concede a try, All Blacks inevitably step up a gear and make an immediate riposte. Let's see if they can do it here.
Well, a nice right-hand touch here. I think sure the All Blacks will go to the right. It's a low-risk side to go. Whatever happens, they'll be over the advantage line. Springboks dropping their number 8 off immediately.
The Springboks have taken one against the head. That's been so useful to them if they can clear it. It's been twisted round. They may lose the advantage, but the referee is allowing them to play on, and it could develop into a ruck now. Now it's fed back there to Van Rensburg off his left foot, and that was one against the head for Uli Schmidt. And they're away back into All Black territory again. Van Rensburg with that beautiful kick off his left foot. And Richard Lowe will be snivelling about that one. Richard Lowe, incidentally, has scored 14 tries in all games that he's played for New Zealand. 14 tries. He could almost get excommunicated from the front row union for that. 27 points to 17. 2 minutes left. They're 10 metres outside the New Zealand 22. And Sean Fitzpatrick, who, well, he must be delighted with the situation, although he knows that they've had a battle. The Springboks really have come out of this with a great deal of credit. Remember that they've been deprived of international rugby, certainly against international board countries, since England were here and got a bit of a dusting in 1984. And that isolation has told today. But nonetheless, they've shown, haven't they, David, that their backs are very dangerous indeed.
Well, they showed some marvellous individual ability. They haven't been able to put it together as a backline, but real strength and pace in the backs. Forwards have really been shaded in most areas today, I think.
Just 1 minute left, and perhaps a little bit of injury time. As Johnny Breed, number 8 there, the third from the back of the line. They've got McDonald, number 7. He's 17.5 stones. He's a flank forward, believe it or not. Preston did well to get that away under pressure to Fox, and Fox was in no doubt as to what he should do there. He really has written his name and his boot and his judgment over this game, Grant Fox. 5 successful kicks from him. All the shouting coming up into our earphones here. Uli Schmidt falling his head off. Everybody getting awful excited as 1 minute is left. On the scoreboard there, another big jump there by Malan. And so they're driving it. Bartman goes into the little huddle there, into the green blanket. Now they're trying to roll it round. They're trying to suck people in. Now it's Bartman once again. And he did well to go down and lay it back. Dupré out there to Schmidt, who was on the wing. Hendricks was there as well. Now it's Dupré once again. Nas Botha with a drop goal attempt. It's a huge drop goal. The referee was well positioned. He was on the 22, but again he's just pulled it past that left-hand post.
I don't know what Nas was thinking there. He must have thought, well, I haven't kicked a drop goal in this match, and there's not much time left. I better have a go. The men outside him, and 10 points down, they really should have moved that.
So we make it time up. They're into injury time at the end of the match, and it's been a tremendous match. A credit to both sides, really. As Grant Fox gets it started, and again that long high kick that hangs up in the air. Robin Brooke went up first of all. However, comes from Dupré to Botha. Out there once again to Herbert. Herbert inside to the number 8, Johnny Breed. Breed on the New Zealand 10 metres line, forced back there by Zinzanbroek. And Dupré, who's cleared the ball well today, out to Botha. Botha to Muller. Muller with a real chance to Herbert. It was a little bit low, and the 34-year-old knocked it forward. But the All Blacks had been offside, and it's going to be a penalty, and surely the Springboks will want to run it. They can see up on the big scoreboard, up as they face upwards towards the post, that they played 1 minute into injury time. James Small, the winger, is hurt, but play goes on as Bartman thunders forward. The Bull of Natal going up to the 22. And it's Dupré once again, out to Muller. Muller the chip through, back goes Kerwin. Kerwin, strong and powerful, and giving a lovely pass to Timo. Timo dicing with death on his own line, and thrown down there by Hendricks. And that's Timo's one little mistake of the day. He may have been a bit frightened of kicking in case it was charged down, but he really did ask for a bit of trouble there. So there we go, 2 minutes into injury time at the end. The Springboks as close as that. This formidable All Black front row that has certainly had a little bit of trouble today from those Springboks. There they're going for the shove over. Now it's Dupré, out to Botha. This is Herbert. Herbert checking back. He's a very powerful man. Great running by him. Now they'll switch it back once again, surely, as Breed feeds it. Now it's Bartman once again. Uli Schmidt took it on. Fed back from McDonald. Out to Botha. Botha the chip take through. Meant for Small. Where will the bounce go? Twigamala is there. And Twigamala was the man who saved it for New Zealand. The referee has his arm up. It looks as if it's a... Let's see what the decision is. They're waiting at the moment because there's an injury. Twigamala, I think, has been hurt against one of the advertising boards in that corner there. And we'll just wait to see what happens to him. But it looks to me as if they may have awarded a penalty to the Springboks. But what a tremendous match this has been. We've had 5 super tries. We've had the All Blacks at one time running away with it. And then you can see there Tuigamala being bumped into the boards by James Small. And obviously getting a bit of a crack in doing so.
Because they are ridiculously close to that dead ball line. They're right on the dead ball line. The Springboks throwing everything at the All Blacks as their pride requires that they do. The All Blacks defence holding, taking men, not panicking, making tackles.
And there the statistics tell you where the New Zealanders have won this match. 19-12 they've won the lineouts. Although the South Africans have come into it a bit more in the second half. Broken play, the South Africans too have won some good ball, but the New Zealanders still with the advantage there. South Africa, however, with the 1 strike against the head, and it may well be that the New Zealand front row will have to buy their opposite numbers a pint this evening in recognition of that strike against the boot-in. Nas Botha, dummied to Bartman, dummied also to McDonald. Steger, number 20, drives. Dupree trying to clear it as Michael Jones went through. Dupree still very strong. Dummying on there, drive there, all the way. Number 12, Muller was in there to help. Now it's Dupree once again, out to Botha. Botha, a long black line there, but a real chance as Muller goes. Herber once again, and Herber has scored another superb try. The 34-year-old with his 2nd try of the match. And really the crowd have gone absolutely potty at that. He is so much a favourite here. He's played for South Africa in Tests since 1980. It's his 20th international, his 17th international try, and it all came from initially the forwards battling on, then a little bit of indecision as Michael Jones almost stopped it. This was Dupree, the scrum half. He really wasn't sure where he was going. Lovely drive there, and then watch the quality of ball here. Dupree, Botha, and then the switch, and this is where it opened up. Muller to Herber, and Herber coming in off that right foot as he did earlier on. That was some try. Nas Botha to cut it to 3 points. 3 successes out of 5. Botha, listen to the roar if he slots it. The referee's whistle goes for the end of the match, and that has been a superb international match. Far better than the game we expected. We thought it would be a kicking duel, a bit of ping pong, but in fact they've played some magnificent rugby. 3